right, so this is one of my students working a single. And what we did in the morning, this is the second session that that dog had. And the morning we worked on balance. And so now this is the test basically. And this is a really hard lamb. There's a strong draw behind the dog, sort of where I'm standing, where the camera's standing, and to my right, there's a very strong draw. This is a lamb that's pulling into that draw really hard. And you can see a lot of this is an Australian Shepherd. And you can see his eye. That's called Aussie eye. We call it Aussie eye. It's a loose-eyed dog eye. He's got more eye than, I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, he's in the 7 range of his eye for an Australian Shepherd. That's a registered Australian Shepherd. And he does a really nice job of kicking himself out and reading the bubble pretty well. Um, and he really did a nice job. And I think what was going on was his handler was trying to work a course with him. And so what you're seeing here is him working a core amazing. This dog, like I said in the morning, we worked on balance in a larger group and getting his balance right and and I think it was key to being this successful. His balance was just a little off because he's extremely advanced, well-trained dog. Watch this. You see how that dog kicked out really far and looks in? That's just really nice right there. That's just really ideal. Um, This is a very advanced dog, and sometimes when you have really advanced trained dogs, he's a young dog. Oops, he's going to lose it there. Just that's a little bit of frustration. All it is frustration. That's just the dog. The lamb's not listening to the dog. There's Copper trying to help. The lamb's not listening to the dog, and the dog is like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. He's a young dog. He's 2 years old, extremely well trained. However, when you have a young dog, actually, I think when you have any dog, you have to really look at that. He did such a nice job there. That was so cool. That was so cool. When you have a young dog, you really need to make sure you focus on basics, which is why we spent the morning working on balance. Because in all of his training, his balance got neglected a little bit. And so we just went back to the basics. And you'll notice that the best trainers of all will always go back to basics. No matter what level their dog is, they're always working on basics. And so right here, I'm asking him to see if he can get the dog to bring the sheep to him rather than frustrate him trying to run a course. Trying to run a course with a young dog with a single who hasn't done this a ton is super difficult. And this dog did an amazing job, but I didn't want him to nag and really over stress this dog because this can also be really stressful for dogs. And I was trying, I don't know if you can hear or not, but I was telling him I would quit very soon because I was really good because I don't want this dog to get to blow up, to have a bad wreck, to do something because his anxiety or his stress gets so high because this is really hard for dogs to do. Um, it's hard for even tight-eyed dogs to do this. Loose-eyed dogs, look at that. Look at that. That was beautiful right there. I mean, people who say that Aussies can't do this kind of, my little video's freezing up here. People who say that Aussies can't do this just don't know. Just don't know. They don't do it with the same style, the same exact pizzazz as a border collie does. However, they can do this, and they can make this work, and they can do a good job with this, especially if you train them well and expose them to a lot of stuff. So this is what we're trying to do with this dog: is just expose him to more and more and more and more, so that he gets better and better and better all the time. And he did not have a wreck. He did an amazing job. But this is what you can see that Aussies can do this work. This is a almost 200 by 300. It's slightly smaller than a 200 by 300 arena. And so this dog also works out in the field and in the pasture. So, but this was just an amazing thing I want to share with you about an Aussie that can just really control livestock and really has a lot of great um, abilities. And y'all, they're out there, and we need to get our dogs out there. Our dogs, we have really, really good working dogs. And we need to get our dogs out there so people can see how well these dogs can be trained and how well that they can perform. If you get out there and train your dogs, uh, you can do a lot with. You can see where the holes are. You can in breeding programs. You can make your breeding programs better. You can show these dogs off to the world because they are amazing, amazing dogs. So this is just a quick view of Enoch and Joker.